Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. Aliko Dangote, one of the richest black man in Africa, have been literally crying out. In fact, this time around, he's begging for one favor only. It looks like investment gone wrong already in Nigeria, and there seem to be a lot of allegations against him over the issue of power of monopoly. Of course, he said something very unique because obviously it's not going down well at all with him concerning the major multi-billion dollar oil refinery he built in Nigeria, and it's really not sitting well with him. Of course, other agencies are accusing him of monopoly. All of that you're going to get in a moment, as they also give written some facts and figures why he's actually not happy over the fact that he's not getting exactly what he wants in this particular dispensation. Remember, Aliko Dangote have always been having it really smooth, and the question now is it that this government is not giving it the way he usually have it? Let's find out. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the right subscribe button. Beside it, you'll see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, is willing to sell his multi-billion dollar oil refinery to NNPC Limited. That's the Nigerian state-owned energy company, amid unresolved differences with the federal government. Now, the 650,000 barrel per day refinery, which began operations last year after a decade of construction, has been facing challenges, including difficulties in sourcing crude oil from international producers. Now, NNPC, which has a supply deal with the refinery, has only delivered 6.9 million barrels of oil since last year, forcing the refinery to seek alternative sources from countries like Brazil and the United States. Dangote has expressed frustration with the obstacles his refinery is facing, stating that he is ready to let go of the project if it will benefit the country. Now let them, NNPCL, buy me out and run the refinery the best way they can. They have labeled me a monopolist. That's an incorrect and unfair allegation, but it's okay. If they buy me out, at least their so-called monopolists will be out of the way, Dangote said in a recent interview. Now, Dangote, who had long dominated Nigerian cement, salt, and sugar industries, ventured into oil and gas, a move that has proven challenging. And the refinery cost about $19 billion to build, more than double the initial estimate. It promises to reduce Nigeria's reliance on imported fuel and save up to 30% of the foreign exchange spent on import. It is understood that the refinery, set to release its first batch of petrol to the Nigerian market in August, has been operating at just over half its capacity due to difficulties in sourcing crude oil from international producers. He said, and I quote him, he said, as you probably know, I am 67 years old. In less than 3 years, I'll be 70. I need very little to live the rest of my life. I can't take the refinery or any other property or asset to my grave. Everything I do is in the interest of my country, Dangote said. This refinery can help resolve the problem, but it seems some people are uncomfortable with me in the picture. So I'm ready to let go. Let the NNPC buy me out and run the refinery. At least the country will have high quality products and create jobs, he added. Now, Dangote's decision comes after facing several obstacles, which he believes validate the caution advised by friends and associates, which he invested billions into the Nigerian economy. 4 years ago, one of my very wealthy friends began to invest his money abroad, Dangote said. I disagreed with him and urged him to rethink his action in the interest of his country. He blamed his action on policy inconsistencies and interest groups. That friend has been taunting me in the past few days, saying he warned me and that he has been proven right, Dangote said. Now, Edwin, vice president of oil and gas at Dangote Group, recently alleged that Nigerian Mainstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) is permitting the importation of substandard fuel into the country. In response, the NMDPRA CEO Farouk Ahmed countered that diesel produced by Dangote Refinery and other similar facilities such as Watersmith and Aradel, contains high levels of sulfur, potentially damaging vehicle engines and the environment. Now, however, during a recent tour of the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Dangote Fertilizer Limited complex by members of the House of Representatives, Aliko Dangote disputed the regulator's claims. Lab tests conducted during the tour revealed that Dangote diesel contains a mere 87.6 ppm of sulfur, significantly lower than the 1,800 ppm and 2,000 ppm found in imported samples. Dangote challenged the regulator to conduct an impartial comparison of the quality of his refinery's products versus imported ones, advocating for a fair assessment to determine the best interest of Nigeria. Also during the tour, Dangote announced that he would halt his investment in Nigeria's steel industry to avoid accusations of monopoly. Now, while that is going on, of course, there seem to be a lot of allegations against him. People, and unfortunately, some of these agencies believe that Dangote is crying foul, according to them, simply because he wanted some sort of monopoly, of which this government, this particular dispensation, is not giving him, and hence he's crying foul. But then again, he has said that they should buy him out if they want. But let's find out what exactly the words of these agencies concerning Dangote and crying foul. Now, according to Farouk in an interview showed some few days back, he also alleged that Dangote wanted to become a monopoly by using the sole producer of petroleum products, adding that the refinery was not even licensed yet. Now, however, Olufumilade declared that that's Farouk Ahmed's statement was God's way of exposing those holding the country to ransom, and called on the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to shake up the NNPC management immediately and sack everyone who's involved in this whole thing. Now, he also noted that Ahmed's statement shows that he is an arrowhead of the cabal that is holding on to the jugular of the country through perpetual importation of refined oil and doesn't want to let go. A whole lot of persons have their different and several views on this matter. But the question is, for how long will Nigerian people, in all of this, Nigerian people are both the beneficiary and the victims? I think going forward, if Dangote have told everyone involved that can you conduct a lab test to know the quality of our product, I think it is fair enough for us to conduct that test. And if he is found to be good enough, and even the quality assurance is fantastic, why shouldn't you patronize him? The only challenge you're going to have is there should be a government Dangote partnership, or better still, private public partnership, where they have to come into some sort of dialogue where he doesn't have to make all the profit, being that he has a market space of Nigeria. And any other person who would love to go into the refinery, by all means, we got big boys in the country. They can always open, and have their own refineries. And while the NNPC refinery that ought to be functional, but up to date is yet to see, functionality. It has been on and off, and it has been off for more than decades now, even right from the times of Jonathan. And I could remember the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, did everything that he could to see how he can refertilize it so that he can stop the importation of crude. But the powers, the unforeseen hands and the powers that be, made sure that they truncated that home up. And they also made sure that he never saw a second entry. I'm referring to second tenure for him to come in and at least finalize that dream. So it's an internal thing. And I guess it's going to be a hackling task for the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu that there could be invisible hands, but Nigerians are not saying it. All Nigerians are saying is help us out, do the needful, and let these things be done immediately. All Nigerians want is just stop the hardship, stop this whole inflation.
Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze,